everything.
And we are now live. Welcome, everyone. Haters, gamers, lovers,
Why you
fakers,
hating?
pretenders. This is
Oh
the
God.
OGL. I think this is the OGAL number 19.
Yeah. Number
Whoa.
19? Wouldn't that be 69?
I was about to say something dirty, but I didn't.
Really?
I was, but I didn't. I didn't say anything dirty. I was cool.
Well, I think it's OGAL number 19. I could be wrong. If I am, I apologize. But we have something special for you guys tonight. Maybe not too special, but it's going to be very funny.
I mean, yeah.
Uh,
You know what? Also, let's start off with let's start, if this is OGL, I'd rather do a topic then get to the. We have something special tonight to crack jokes and have fun about. It's nothing serious. We're not taking it. We're not gonna take it really serious, but it's just fun. But there's some topics out there that we could talk about. If anything comes up to mind, I think you had in your thing that anything, open minded.
well, no, it doesn't have to follow the typical structure. I really don't care. I didn't really have any topics in mind. Not
Okay.
that I really care to discuss. If you guys do, feel free.
I got a topic to discuss, and
Well,
it's
there you
it's
go.
it,
Yeah.
it, it's kind of a joke topic. People going on podcasts playing Splatoon and not saying anything for the whole damn cast.
Well, he called you out, Doc.
No, because I'm guilty of the same damn thing. I've done it on people's podcasts, but you can tell because I'll say something. You know what I really like, and then I don't say anything for like 5 or 6 minutes.
I got you.
Yeah, that's me. That's
Well,
I'm that.
well, it is the popular thing out right now, so it's expected. It's actually going on this week. Would be what, the fourth week? 4 weeks? This Friday since it's been out.
It's addictive. This
Yeah.
game is digital crack.
Yeah, for those who are interested in this game, this has been a really fun game with all the stuff they have done to it. So, yep. And they got more stuff to keep on coming with. They said, as usual, 2 years plan fence, 1 year of updates. So hey, we got a long way to go with this game.
And
Oh
I
yeah.
just want to say something. And this is me being a little bit salty. I will admit that. But excuse me, Nintendo. You really kind of nerfed the rollers this second time around. Not
Yeah,
in a
they did.
bad way, but not in a good way either. It's like you gave them a buff with the run speed, but you really
Yep.
made them less useful in a gunfight.
Well, no, they still are kind of useful because I was fighting a dude in the on the day, like the day before they had the Splatfest, and this dude was like on point with that single the way you can do your jumping splat with the roller now. Oh man, this dude was just wiping it. Like this dude killed me like 5 times with that one hit. I'm like this mother. And then the second time, I got back in the fight, and I just went out of my way to just splat his ass. I was like, payback is a bitch,
So
you know.
so basically, in that moment, you became just like my wife.
Well, I won't go that far, but when like it wasn't like I went out of my way to find him, but every time I saw him and he was like
You
trying to
just
lay
said
ink, I was like, okay,
you just
find me.
said this guy splatted me about 5 times, so I went out of my way to splat his ass. You just said this.
Yeah, because basically because like normally like if you splat me once or twice, I really don't care, because I'm in your territory, I'm trying to lay ink. But
Red.
this dude was stalking me, like literally he was stalking.
You don't have to justify it to me, man. I'm just simply saying you sound a little bit like what you used to say about my wife.
Because well, yeah, she was stalking me, dude. I don't know what was with that.
She was stalking you.
Like literally, I would be in a match with her, and if she was on the opposing side, it's like there's all these look people are laying ink in your territory, and you found me. Really, seriously.
He said people laying in your inventory and you found me.
Like I'm
Yep.
all the way over here, like not even close to your guys' spawn point. Found me.
Wow.
Yeah,
you know what?
Eric Maverick is not the way it's not nerfed the way that you think it is. Doc, he's being lower dynamo. He has a special way of being calling it what
Because
he's nerfed.
he loves the they changed how the dynamos how the rollers work, but they still are
It's a loadout.
relatively
No,
powerful.
no, 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 no. I'm
It's a
being very
loadout.
serious. I actually went back and compared. I want to make sure that I wasn't just maybe I forgot because I hadn't played the first platoon in so long. But I went back and did some research. I played a few games with Shep and Sprite. I'm telling you, the rollers in the first game are way more lethal than they are in the second game. The second game is still lethal. It's still a one-hit kill if it's close to close mid-range. But the Dynamo used to be lethal even from mid-range, like far mid-range. It's
Yeah,
not anymore.
yeah,
Like
they
plus they
they
made
did kind of nerf that, but I mean, it had to. I mean, you couldn't. It was cheap that you'd have people throwing a wave of ink at you, and you just would like one hit. Oh no, that's
But you
not
know,
cool, bro.
but you know what, Doc? Um, this argument would apply with this would apply the same way when Namco basically changed some of the combos from Soul Calibur to Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, but I mean that's because the original Soul Calibur was more of a 2D game on a 3D plane, whereas Soul Calibur 2 was more of a 3D game in a 3D plane.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the rollers are useless. Like I said, it's not in a good way what they did. It's not good, but it's not bad either. But what I've noticed is that when it comes to point blank, of course, there's still a one hit kill. They're dangerous, even just slightly outside of point blank range. But if you go just a few units outside of that, it literally takes about two slushes to kill someone. I'm thinking like, wait, hold on. Rollers, it used to be if the ink touched you, basically especially for the sloosh, you pretty much die. Even now with the new vertical sloosh, it takes like two of those to kill you if you're not close. It takes two.
Well, if it's long range, if it's mid range or closer, it's one hit. You're done. It's ridiculous.
And I'm
And
just
I like that they
thinking,
increased the running speed because they were slow as hell before.
well, the Dynamo was slow, of course, but the rest of them were actually okay. I actually play with the regular roller now more so than the Dynamo because Dynamo,
At higher speed.
there's been many times I would hit someone at like mid range, and I mean they're directly in front of me. They catch all the ink, they're still alive, and there's no defense perks on whatsoever. But by the time you
Well,
come that second swing, you're dead.
well, how do you know? How do you know that they don't have uh
You can see their perks, and plus I can see them after the match is over too, using
okay,
the Splatnet app.
okay. I was wondering. I was like,
Yeah,
how
you
do you
can
know
see.
they didn't have defensive?
Yeah, because even when you pull up the map mode, the map on while you're playing the game, in the upper right hand corner, it shows you what the opposing team is wearing. It shows you all their primary perks. And of course, because the sub perks make little to no difference unless you got them stacked. But in this game, you can't stack them like you used to. They're not that effective as they were before. But it does show
Well,
you all their primary perks.
you have decreasing
Exactly.
benefits. Yeah,
Exactly. But
efficiency.
it does show you all three of their primary perks from each one of their pieces of gear. And when you don't
But
see
I
defense
mean,
up on there, it lets you know.
like basically, back in the first platoon, you could have, if you were lucky enough, you could basically have like
All
all of the
12.
same sub perks, and you get a huge benefit. But now, like you can only stack it on one thing, and you get the benefits from that one thing that you stacked it on. Because I have this kick ass, I have these kick ass shades, these aviators in Splatoon 2 that give you enhanced power to your sub weapon. And like if I have the ink launcher, I'm just like one shotting people with that thing. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I hope they. I've noticed that a few things need to be patched in that game. It's not perfect, but I've noticed a few things need to be patched. Some things have gotten a lot stronger, while others have gotten noticeably weaker, and
Yeah.
or they gave it the wrong type of loadout. But that's just my opinion. But I know some things will be patched. I'm gonna tell you people right now, you dually users, you're gonna be patched, especially the regular dualies. you're going to be patched.
Oh, you mean those people who just roll and roll and roll and roll and roll,
Yeah,
dodging stuff over and over and over again? But that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about weird.
No, we're here to talk about. In a sense, it's bullshit too. So go ahead, Liger. Liger, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I keep on forgetting that I moved the mic on my side and not the thing. So now I still gonna talk about weird stuff. But before we get to that, like we have basically piggybacking off of Dr. Fielder's video he did yesterday. You know, it came out that the director producer shared basically acknowledge what I was talking about. Like, people just pick your games and let the chips fall where it falls, and let people enjoy it for what it is, the creativity of the game, so people can enjoy it. So Kingdom Battle came out, and the executive producer released the specs of the damn game, and I was like, why would you do that? Just for
first of all, ask why, because like, why would he do that just in GP? But I mean, Kingdom Battle it's not a graphically intensive.
That doesn't make a difference to release the specs. What we talk about, what Doc's video. I'm picking back off Doc's video.
Why does that? Well, yeah, the video where he said, just release the game, stop talking about specs. But yeah. I mean, because I saw the video too, and I agree. You shouldn't really talk about the specs unless you're doing something that's really, really impressive. Like when the Monolith Soft people were like, when the Monolith Soft people were like, well, we made this huge open world game in Xenoblade Chronicles X, and they were like, well, this is how we did it. I'm like, well, that's really interesting because I mean, they made, which still is like one of the biggest open world games of this or last gen.
Hold
on so-called the weakest console.
Yeah,
so
and I agree with that. If they brag, like Doc said, and I'll say the same thing too. If they brag about it after the accolades and everything else, after
they didn't do it during. They were just like, this is a huge world. We didn't know how big until we played it, but I mean, they weren't like before but that game isn't even out yet. That game doesn't come out to the end of this month, the 28th.
Yes, so it is applied. When I said it, and like I said, he acknowledged me in the video. I was saying it to Nintendo people too. I'm not talking just for Sony and Microsoft third parties. I'm just saying we need to just get to the point. We need to stop doing this because sometimes some people on one half people brag, and then when the game when the game falls short from what they bragged about, then they like, oh well, it was not this.
Or to put it more succinctly, some people write checks that their ass can't cash. I mean, look, Lawbreakers had that. This dude like, our game can't be on the Switch because it doesn't have enough buttons. The game came out, it's got major coding issues, which is not surprising because this guy can't count. So in a math-dominated field,
you are a dick. You're a dick.
Yeah, and I got you. And now they're having a little issues running the game on PlayStation 4, which is not surprising to me. But hey, it is what it is.
But you know what I've discovered? The more a developer talks shit about a game before it comes out, typically speaking, not all the time, but typically speaking, the more they hype that shit up, it's never gonna live up to the hype they're talking. It's just never gonna reach that point.
And that's one of the reasons I said, that's why I stated a long time ago. I said, well, just make the game, and it's just fall. If it becomes a great game, third party Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, I don't care. Then you could say the accolades. Wow, we got this much accolades. It's this good, and people like you just said, how did you do this? Well, we did this. We wanted this great. Developers talk and stuff and talk about it. Yeah, because people right now not the average gamer, but what Doc was saying, and we were saying, is like the average YouTuber and Twitch user and Twitter and all these guys now who just live through this gaming bubble hype, like they just make things way bigger than it's supposed to be.
Yeah, they eat that shit up.
Yeah, the hype. That's one of my videos on my channel that I had a long time ago. My video in my first year when I said, I don't get hyped because of expectations. You guys, basically, that's one of the things that killed your happiness. Is live off the hype, and then when you get it, you're like, oh man, it's not whatever. And
well, the saddest thing is that they get so hyped up, and half of these people, if you act like if you know anything about it, like if you're like Shadow Fox or someone who knows about the hardware and software side of it and coding, and you ask them, well, what does that mean? Well, it means it's powerful.
Now hold on.
They go with the buzzwords, you know.
Now is this the thing that someone at Ubisoft said that that Mario Plus Rabbids was like 900p on dock and 30 frames per second?
yes, that's a spec. Yes.
Oh my gosh! But you know what? It's kind of ironic that this person said that, and not a couple of days later, there was an interview. Maybe not by the same person, but someone at Ubisoft said that when they were talking about the whole Snow engine, that they didn't want to sound like a Nintendo fan. So now we're back in this situation.
Well, I mean, the thing about it, I mean, for anybody out there who will put, rub two sticks together, if it's on dock, it's going to be mostly 720p anyway.
Yeah, because
it's going to be that. So nothing to knock nothing home with. But my point of this is the graphics okay. But then there are people, and I saw that, and that's what I was saying last night. I was like, people arguing about the whole, it's not 60 frames per second. It's a turn-based freaking game.
Exactly. It's a turn-based strategy game. What?
I mean, 60 frames for what?
Exactly.
Jeez, y'all with this dick measuring thing. It's just ridiculous.
Look, 60 frames is good if you're playing a game that's heavy in the action. Like if you're playing a action game like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry or a fighting game where reflexes have to be quick, then that makes sense. But if you're doing if I'm playing a turn-based RPG, who cares? Seriously, who's like, oh man, this game is at 60 frames. So,
you know what? You're right, Metalman. Project Cars dev said that they can run their game at 8K, and now they have all these kind of problems.
Come on, man. That's it.
Here's my thing about that, man. Look, we know what kind of generation we live in today as far as gaming. And although there's nothing wrong with what he said, I mean, you're free to do what you want. At the end of the day, dude, as I mentioned to Liger earlier today, I'm pretty sure there may have been a few stragglers that may have wrote in or inquired as to what the resolution and frame rate was. But for the most part, I don't think anyone cared after seeing that game at E3 and everything since then. I don't think anyone has ever asked, like, damn, is that 720p or 1080p? I don't think anyone cared. The game just looked fun. But then when you bring that out, it makes people think like, oh, well, that's only 900p. The Switch can't even do 1080p for this art style.
I think more people would be more interested in like, okay, what other playable characters are going to be in the game?
Yes.
How many different weird, rapid version of Mario characters are there?
Exactly. That I have no problem talking about.
More interesting to me. Like
exactly. Talk about the interest of the game. I ain't got no problem with that. Yeah, and I think that will help people with it, because the thing about it is like we said with how I put it in my podcast, how sheeple is like people. There's so many people who, and it's weird. I've seen the videos on YouTube and like, I didn't buy that game because of some person influenced them. I'm like, what? And we're gonna see that later on when we try to talk about this thing right here. But it's like
they say the game didn't run this well. It's like the only time that specs should matter with a game is if you're buying something on PC. And the only reason I say that is because there are many different PC configurations, and sometimes something might not work for you.
But let me say this: Breath of the Wild. I wanted Breath of the Wild the moment they showed it off. And you know what? I bought the game not even knowing what the resolution was. Not to say I'm a dumb gamer and didn't care to look it up. I know how to find it, but I just didn't care. When I saw that game, I didn't care if it was 540p. I wouldn't care if it was 480p. I just didn't care. I wanted the game. My wife has yet to ask me, is this an HD or SD? She doesn't care. She just enjoys the game.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, and here's the thing.
I would say, is that 60 frames per second? Because to me, it got to be 60. The game just looks fun.
that's how we used to be when we were younger. We didn't care about the specs of a game. We just wanted to play a good game. And I mean, that's how you tell. That's how you know a game is really good. Is that even now you can go back and play those games and you don't really care about, the graphics or stuff like that. If it's fun, you enjoy it. You know.
I just never cared. It's like I never ever asked that question like, this looks so good. Is this 1080p? Because if it's not, I'm gonna take it back. No, I really didn't care. Even I played it in tabletop mode. I didn't care that it was in 720p. I just don't care. Even back on the Wii U, when Tropical Freeze was in 720p, I didn't care. I didn't buy the game for that. When 3D World was in 720p, I didn't care. I didn't buy it for that. I
I don't
bought it
think
because
anyone
it looked
cared.
fun.
Yeah, I mean, look. At the end of the day, it's about if it's fun. If it appeals to you and it's fun, that's what you like.
But the graphics add to the
that's
experience, man. The graphics add to the fun.
No, no.
Look, graphics are.
If that,
I'm being facetious.
Yeah,
I know you are.
let me put it this way: graphics. Okay, I'm not going to totally disregard graphics when it comes to gaming because, I mean, it's like saying, "Hey, man, I'm reading this book, but I don't need pages in the book in order to read it." You kind of do need a medium in order to enjoy the medium. Like if you're doing art and it's a painting, you need a canvas, you need paints. But that's a tool to make the game more enjoyable. If the only thing you're worried about are graphics, then you have a game like The Order 1886, which is admittedly a good-looking game, but that's pretty much it. It's just a very good-looking game. You really can't say anything else about it. You can't say it has replayability. You can't say that it's got a deep, engaging story. You can't say it has, depth of gameplay or anything. It's just really good-looking. It's pretty. That's about it.
Daggett Malaman said this don't look like the 2012 Zelda demo. Just playing.
Some people actually said that though.
I mean, but even though, back to Liger's point, the dude didn't have to say shit about that. This game could have came out without him ever saying that. Even after the fact, it would be fine. But by doing that, you open the door for people to criticize you once again, and Nintendo that and their main their main topic is going to be, see, the Switch can't run this game in 1080p. It's not that it can't. They just probably made a decision not to because it's not worthwhile.
They did the same thing for the Xbox One when all those multiplats came out, and they're like, on the Xbox One it's 900p, on the PS4 it's 1080p.
And then you had people arguing about what the grass.
Yeah, and what they didn't tell you was that neither system was getting even 30 frames locked. So, I think that you have a lot of people who respect wars.
Or like when they lied about Watch Dogs, when they said, "Oh yeah, play the true next gen Watch Dogs experience on the PS4, 1080p, 60 frames per second." Came out, that game was not 60 frames per second on any platform.
You know what? Here's my thing. Has there been ever a time when a platform that just got released, they actually they actually knew the console so well that they could push it to the limits? I don't think so.
No. The closest we got was we got close. The closest we've gotten in terms of a game coming out at launch or close to launch that really pushed that console to maybe not to the limits because it is a new console, but really, really far was maybe with the GameCube with Rogue Squadron 2. Because that game was, even now that game is really technically impressive, especially for it to be for what it is. That game is really like, damn, you were able to do that on a GameCube.
Well, yeah, if you work with the GameCube, or if you're the mechanic and you built the car, I think you could squeeze out a lot of performance out of it.
Yeah, that's a rare occurrence. Generally speaking, games when they first hit a console look kind of primitive. Like the first SNES games, aside from Nintendo's games, like some of the first party games look like really, really, really good NES games, some of them. It was like, okay. And then as time went on, they began to take advantage of the hardware. So you'd get like better graphics. They start using the modes and all that stuff. So, you know, I mean, that's just it's a rarity. But I mean, I don't know why people keep on like, okay, like we're acting like this is a new thing, but they always talked about specs. Like they would say, look at these graphics, and you know, back even during the 16-bit era, it's like, look at this mode 7.
Yeah, mode 7, 6. No, and I get that. I'm not, but like you said, though, one, we didn't have the internet. That was what it was. Two,
Yeah.
people didn't. I mean, and two, we don't have the emphasis. We don't have like this people. It's the mindset of, like you just said, with like Doc said about, oh, well, this is can't do this. Like I didn't care that that this game couldn't run on a Saturn or whatever. Like that is, like you said, we had a point. Like, give us the game. Back then, it was mostly, from my experience, in most cases, was give me the game, let me play it. That's all I would get. That's all I wanted.
I mean, the only thing you want is, I mean, like, okay, we didn't, okay, like, just like now, where there are certain YouTubers who shill games. You had certain video game magazines that would shill games, and
yeah.
I mean, you just have that. I mean, it was something. So you kind of did, if you didn't have a game or it wasn't in your area, or they'd have to special order it. You were a lot more judicious about, you know, if you weren't getting it, your parents getting it, like getting games and stuff like that. But I mean, even then, we weren't as preoccupied with graphics as they are now, and I think that was just kind of a, like, it just changed. I don't know what happened.
It was a place in it was time that's what happened. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Hey Doc.
Yeah.
Give me I apologize for a quick second. I have an important call I gotta take, so I'll hopefully I don't gotta go nowhere, but I'm just letting you know, since I know sometimes I mute my mic by accident and nobody sees me and they asking questions. So give me I'll mute myself both ways so you can see, okay?
Okay.
It's okay, dude. But I mean, I don't know, man. I wish things were better. Because normally in gaming, they're trends. You know, things come and go. Like platformers came and went. Beat 'em ups came and went. Side-scrolling shooters came and went. Now they're coming back again a little bit. Like, but this is something that it won't go away. It's like a zombie. It just won't die.
Doc, can you look at the side hangout chat?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
But I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish things were better. I wish they would be a bit more judicious in how they do things, but they won't.
Heck,
So
all of us do.
I mean, you know.
Okay, what's in the side chat that I should be seeing here? Oh gosh, is it something bad?
No.
Oh no, in the hangout.
Huh?
In the hangout.
Oh, in the hangout. Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Metalman. Really? Blast processing?
Yeah, but I mean, even before, like, okay, the first quote-unquote 16-bit console, which really wasn't a 16-bit console, was the TurboGrafx 16. TurboGrafx 16, their whole big thing was, we have 16 bits. That was their hook. We have 16 bits. Now, did the TurboGrafx 16 really have 16 bits? Hell no. It was two 8-bit processors with the overclocked. It was two 8-bit chipsets with 16-bit with a dual 8-bit processor. But you had bigger graphics and more colors on screen than the NES or even the original Master System. And then, like, literally, like, a week after the TurboGrafx 16 launched, Sega in Japan came out with their Mega Drive, which blew the TurboGrafx 16 out of the water. I mean, really blew that shit out of the water. They did okay. Well, not really. They did okay in Japan. But then about a year after the Genesis came out, Nintendo came out with their SNES. And that was when that whole bit war shit really took off, because Nintendo was like, oh, blast processing? Oh, that's cute. We've got we've got 24,000 colors. Sorry, 2,400 colors. only 256 of which can actually be seen on screen at any one time. But don't tell anyone that.
You know what? Speaking of blowing it out of the water, that next gen fish AI from Activision from that Call of Duty game.
Yeah, they were like,
hell
we can really use the power of this console. I'm like, but I was doing that in Mario 64.
I need y'all to stop. Be nice. Be nice.
Okay, fine then. I will be nice. I'll talk about something that we can all agree is fun and needs to be brought back. Since this has kind of devolved into a random cast a little bit. So here's my thing. Who here would like to see a Final Fight 4?
No, Street of Rage 3 or 4 as well.
I sure would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Of course.
Who here would like to see a Final Fight cross with Streets of Rage?
That'll be good too.
With Streets of Rage?
Yeah.
Oh, why not? Why not?
I'm not against that.
I think no one here would have an issue with that.
Yeah. Yep.
Because first of all, the easiest reason is beat 'em ups need to come back, and they can. To me, if they release an updated Streets of Rage, I mean modern, and I mean I still want to be 2D side scrolling, which is maybe if you want, you can give it the HD coat or cell shading whatnot. If they release that, I would buy day one. Even if they update a little bit, made it a little bit 3D or 2.5D ish.
I'll be down with that. Make about $20. Yeah, that thing would sell very well.
Nah, what if it was 40?
You hear this, Sega? You hear it?
What if it was 40?
Bring back Golden Axe.
It was what?
What if it was 40?
40? I don't think the market will work with that.
Well, I mean, they could do 40.
They could price that, but people's not. I'm serious. No, the market would.
No, they could do 40 if they did a Streets of Rage trilogy and they did that, but not just one game.
Okay, yeah.
If it was just one Streets of Rage, that's the problem. But if it's all three games and they
all three games, I say like all three games plus the fourth one, yeah, and do what you just said, yeah. I regret, yeah.
So what you're implying is what Capcom should have did with Ultra Street Fighter. You should have given us Street Fighter Alpha, maybe.
No, would you stop?
No. Although I wouldn't say no to a Final Fight trilogy.
Yeah, I'm going with what Red said. Like add what you just said, Doc, and then add what Red just said. Like then I can see $40 and no problem in the market. Like you have the value of you have 3 games. All right, you have 3 games, and then you have the new game on top of that, kind of like a Bayonetta thing, or whatever, and you just had this new sprite, like it's a 2.5 and it looking good.
I'd play that. Yeah, if they did a Final Fight,
I'll pay 40 for that. Yeah, I'll pay.
If they did Final Fight 4, right? And Final Fight 4 came with 1, 2, and 3 that were touched up with HD. Maybe gave you the ability, HD sprites. Maybe gave you the ability to the characters. Like if you beat 1, 2, and 3, the characters from those games you can play in 4. Like on top of like let's say Cody, Guy, and Hagar or Hager, Mike Hager. That would be awesome. I would totally play that game.
Yeah.
Well, I have a quick question for you guys. I have a couple of quick questions here, and I'm also asking you guys in the chat. I want you to provide your honest feedback. It's a yes or no question. Would you buy, re-release, HD remastered version of Streets of Rage trilogy for $60?
No.
Well, if not for 60, for 40. Yeah.
He said yes or no. So
yes or no.
So
no.
HD remastered version of Streets of Rage trilogy on the Switch.
No, I wouldn't.
Wait, as it remastered HD, as in there's 16-bit sprite in HD.
How much?
Yeah.
He said $60. $60.
All 3.
I said no.
All 3 games?
That's going to be a hard.
For how much? Or is it yes or no with no price tag?
It's a yes or no.
He just said $60.
Oh no.
Anyone in the chat, answer a yes or no question. Answer away.
I mean, I can give you a realistic answer about this. Warner Brothers re-released Lego City Undercover for $60 goddamn dollars when you can get the Wii U version for 20 for the Switch.
And you know what? And while we're waiting for some people in the chat to answer, Metalman actually mentioned something interesting. He asked the question: Would you buy basically a Final Fight Muso game?
Actually, that would sound kind of fun, but they have to change. They have to modify the structure a little bit. Like it couldn't be these massive open levels. They'd have to be smaller and more contained, but it could be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I could think because you have Fist of the North Star. No, I'm talking about people without weapons base, which is Fist of the North Star.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, they'd have to modify it a little bit, maybe make it smaller in scope, which might actually help it because then they could put more energy making the world more, what's the word I'm looking for, interactable. You can interact with it more if you made smaller levels. Then, like the massive open worlds, because I've been playing Dragon Quest Heroes 2, and it's massive. It looks awesome, but it's like the backgrounds are so static.
Well, guess what? We actually have one taker. Metalman said if they were all HD sprites, all 3 games, he would probably pay $60.
No, not $60. No.
Okay. Let me make it more interesting. Slightly. $50.
I still
no. That's too much.
Nope.
Okay, so what you guys are saying is you buy a trilogy for no more than $40.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't buy those games. I wouldn't buy those games. It was that either.
I mean, I'll keep it real. I mean, I've already experienced this. I have not bought Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I'm not going to buy it because it's $60 goddamn dollars. I'm not doing it.
Okay. I have another question then. I'm gonna tug at your heartstrings.
No, Renegade, no.
I'm gonna tug at your heartstrings a little bit.
You're gonna hurt my heart. Huh? Okay, go.
All right. Would you buy an HD remastered Chrono Trigger?
No.
For the Switch?
No, I would not.
For
$40.
Nope.
But $40, Red.
No, I wouldn't. You want to know why? Because I've played an HDified Chrono Trigger, and it looks
no.
I
know. I'm not talking about just up-resing that. I'm talking about what they're doing with Final Fantasy VII.
No.
Not even $40.
The way Square Enix is now, I wouldn't want them touching that game. Look, if they had 100-foot pole, I wouldn't want them touching that game.
Okay, maybe just the graphics, but they would keep the gameplay intact.
Well, that's the problem. It's like I don't. It's like here's the thing: if you're gonna remake Chrono Trigger,
I understand, Red, that like Drake, you have trust issues, but come on now.
No.
Oh wow.
Besides, I already have like 4 copies of Chrono Trigger. I don't need it. Like I want new games on my console, not old shit.
Yeah, okay, but again, I'll to get an answer to that. Ken, for my answer from that, I'm with Red to a degree. Like I would say, no. You gotta be a little bit. If they HD remake, whatever, I would say you gotta be a little lower than that.
Okay. Hey, there's no right or wrong answer. I just want to know.
Well, no, I know.
If it was $20, I'd say okay, that's cool. But 40, no, not for Chrono Trigger. No.
Hey, is that? Oh, SK. Oh, he's muted. Let me know you're not muted anymore.
I mean, I love Chrono Trigger, but $40 for it when I've already bought that game like 4 times.
Okay. Who the hell's playing Splatoon?
You know who it is.
Wow. All right then.
I'm playing your game.
Well, do you want to go ahead and do the
you know what?
actual real thing?
Hold on.
I'm ready.
Hold on. Speaking about Splatoon, Eric actually asked a question earlier. Kind of missed it. Here's the question: in Splatoon 2, what do you think matters in a match? gear, weapons, skills, or specials?
He said, "What matters most in the match?"
Skills.
Yes.
Skills.
Or what do you
Because
think matters?
I've been in matches where like everyone on your team has really good weapons and really good things, but because they don't know how to use them properly, you still lose. And so at the end of the day, and yet I've also been on teams where I had like people with the newbie splatter shot junior weapon, and we kicked the other teams behind, and they had good weapons. So at the end of the day, it's just skill.
Yep, skills. I would have to agree. It's mostly skills.
I go with skills. Really, Renegade?
But I would say this though, and I cannot say this enough. To all the prospective Splatoon players out there, whether you want to get into it or you already are, if you want to get better at the game, please listen carefully. Use your weapon to its benefit, meaning play the weapon that's designed to be played. I say that because people with these arrow sprays, stop trying to take on somebody with a gal.
God damn.
You're not going to win that fight. I'm not saying it's impossible, but more than likely they got twice the range on you, and that thing takes 2-3 bullets to kill. You need 5 or 6. Run. If you have a Splatter Shot Pro, stop trying to win fights up close and personal, because the arrow spray actually may get the better of you. I've seen people trying to actually, do that Call of Duty bullshit where they go around quick scoping with a damn charger. You get your ass killed.
I've seen people do that too. Yeah, I've been wiped out.
Call of Duty, and it's an exploit, but don't try that in Splatoon. It may work for you once or twice in a match, but that is not consistent.
Well,
Even
it
in
may work
run
on lower end against lower end players, but once you get to higher end players, they're just gonna laugh at you and kick your ass.
Even in Salmon Run, seriously, I've seen snipers on the front lines. What the hell are you doing?
Well, I mean, in Salmon Run, it's a little bit different because there's some enemies that you really can't take out unless
No, I know that, but you don't have to be on the front lines where they're coming out the damn beach or the shoreline. You're at the back picking off some of the, like for example, the one that throws a bomb on his head. It takes one charger shot to take that thing out. That is one of the best uses for a person using the charger. Why are you at the shoreline trying to shoot all the little small ones coming in? That makes no sense.
I'll do one of Rambo.
It's like, come on.
Stupid. I mean,
If you're a roller, you should be painting the ground so we have somewhere to go. You shouldn't always be trying to play the distance game or be up close and personal. We need somewhere to run as well. But you know how it is. I won't even go into that. But please play your weapons to its advantage. If you have a long range weapon, keep your ass away. But like, if you want to, unless there's anything else, the topics, we can do your comical thing.
Oh, dang, he's probably busy right now because he's muted.
I think he has on that call.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, I thought he had came back. I guess he's still taking it. All right, well, hold on. What's this? Renegade. One time. Okay, you got me once with a stingray. You want to brag about it, Renegade? Really? Really? Look, man.
Well,
even monkeys fall out of trees. Okay. Just saying.
Just like that.
they do fall out of trees sometimes.
nice get up you got there, SK.
Every dog has his day.
Well, here's what I want to bring up. It's the Mario Plus Rabbids Kingdom. When someone, the person that interviewed the creator of the game, I can't believe he actually admitted it himself that he leaked the game, and I'm like,
what the hell? Really?
Yeah. He basically said that himself on
I guess he pulled a Ryan Reynolds.
Recording.
I guess he pulled a Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool.
Yeah, here's the thing I don't get. You're going to leak something that has an IP on it that is property of Nintendo. The
But let
Might
me,
one,
be
let me
fucked
wait,
up.
wait, you know
They
what?
might kill his ass.
It's been going on for a while. Let me tell you why. This goes on in almost all industries. Like for example, when you hear about leaks, especially in the 7th gen, when they would say something like, "Oh, this has been leaked. We have leaked footage, leaked gameplay." Typically, it is more times than not, it has always been the people
They
within the
leaked it
company.
themselves.
They
Yeah.
leak it themselves because whenever you attach a very controversial, word to something, it makes it that much more appealing and interesting. So if you say, "Oh yeah, we have this leaked footage," you mean some shit you released to the public?
Mm.
Like, but it's much more attractive if you say it's
Well,
leaked. Just like Kim Kardashian and the
oh
sex tape.
no,
Yeah.
no, no. Oh god,
well,
I vomited a little bit in my mouth with that one. No,
but
here's what I'll say. I'll say it's like 70-30. 70% of the
Red
time
can
they leak
handle
it
that.
themselves.
Red
What?
can handle that. You can handle that.
No,
Well,
I
you
don't
say,
like Kim Kardashian. But
SK.
70. I would say 70% of the time the people concerned with it are the ones who leak it, but 30% of the time it's some stuff they don't want to get out. You know what I mean?
yeah, but here's the thing I don't get. Before I got cut off, you're going to do this on of an IP that is from Nintendo. You know how Nintendo gets when something gets leaked from their stuff. I mean, we basically had someone got fired or been taken out because they leaked something of Smash Brothers. So I would expect this creator would have been much more respectful of Nintendo's IP, and Nintendo is basically one of the few companies, actually is the company, and on record they said they rather would love they would make something to surprise people,
Can we
and yet
just
you
say
did
never
this.
mind.
You leaked something out. That means you disrespect that one thing that they value.
Well,
Huh?
can we just say one thing though? I mean, we all know that Ubisoft is in a very precarious situation. Let's put it that way. They're about to get probed by Vivendi. Um,
Absolutely.
and basically, when you're in that position, do you think they? I mean, look. Nintendo's not going to buy them out and fire everybody. That's just one guy will get fired. Vivendi is just going to destroy them entirely.
No,
So,
no,
so I mean, really, this dude doesn't care. They're just trying to get something that works.
but no, but here's the thing. I'm not even talking. I'm talking about Vivendi. It's just that you pulled this stunt. Uh, you you basically made Nintendo mad, and I mean they probably got so mad that they wouldn't want to work with you, or it's going to be much more difficult for Ubisoft to actually work with Nintendo.
Why do they care? Like I said, why should they care? Why should they care about Nintendo? Why should they care about Nintendo? Like if in the state that they're in right now, why should they care about Nintendo doing anything?
Now I'm just saying
Like,
because the,
Huh?
I'm just saying because when they really need help from Nintendo, yeah,
Well, shit, they already need help from Nintendo. That's what I'm saying. They don't
but,
care. They're in
but yeah,
desperation mode. Look, listen. Look, a lot of people at Ubisoft are all out of F's to give at this point. They just don't care. They're like Wayne Brady. They're like Wayne Brady in that Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, since they took my show, I have nothing else to go with. Like literally, they look. This is their last hurrah. You understand what I'm saying?
a lot.
During
They could have
THQ,
taken.
remember those last 2 years of THQ. This is where Ubisoft is almost at right now. Okay, this is their last, and it's sad, but this is their last. This is their last hurrah, if you will.
well, hold on real quick. Like, are you back?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm gonna do this for 15 minutes before. Yeah, because my phone's going to frig up now.
All
Jeez.
right, but we'll go ahead and start with your little idea you had prior to.
All right. So, like I said, this is. See what I mean? Oh, like it's like when you don't have things, everybody's now your phone's just blowing the hell up. Anyway, yeah, I can do 15 minutes about this, and we're gonna go through this as quickly as we can. Yeah, me and Ken was going through some stuff quickly and talking about stuff, and it was funny. Now we're not taking this seriously. We're gonna just so let's not dilly dally too much, but it was just funny how certain people write stuff, and that's why I always said do go to multiple places to get your reviews and make sure everything is all right. And don't just go to one spot or whatever. Do multiple places and come with a good consensus of what you think is interesting to you. So, what me and the Dr. Feelgood did, we went. We were cracking jokes, and we went to and you can go check this out yourself. So, when like I said, we're not defending it. We're just laughing at this stuff. It might sound like this, but we don't care. We're having fun. We went to he was telling me a price. Let's see. Let me go to Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Switch version, physical copy on Amazon.
On Amazon.
Yeah. So we went there, and you could go there, click, and find this stuff too. So what surprised me was I saw 5 stars. I'm like, well, we know ain't all 5 stars out of 600,000 reviews. I mean, 600 reviews. So I'm like, okay. I said, let me check this. So they have the 1 star, 2 star, 3. They're like 5 stars 91%, 4 stars 4%, 2 stars 2%, 3 stars 2%, 2 stars 1%, and 1 star 2%. So I had to dig in. I said let's click on it, and so right now I'm gonna read off the 1%, the 1 star,
Oh, the 1 star,
the 1 stars, yeah. And you guys have your reaction because I'm just laughing at some of this stuff. So this is just for shits and giggles. Okay, so
Try not to laugh, folks. Try not to laugh, but I know you are.
Yeah.
I know I'm trying not to laugh here. I know what it is.
Okay. So we have one. So we have one right now, 1 star. Person, purchase verified. Person said, "I hate this game. There's monsters everywhere."
That person must have never played a Legend of Zelda game.
No, wait. I'm that.
No, wait. Is this for eel?
Huh? Again,
is this for eel?
Shut up, Triple M. Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up. Seriously. But anyway, yeah, that's one of them. Like I said, so that's 1 star. Next one was another one is basically right here, and I'm picking the one because one thing is when you do these stuff, you got people who take out what happened at Amazon and put it there instead of putting with the product kits and stuff. So that's why you gonna see me read. I'm gonna skip over some of the stuff.
No, my point is that every Legend of Zelda has tons of monsters running around.
I know that's what we're reading off right now.
that is a hallmark of the franchise. It's like someone saying, "Man, I was playing Call of Duty. People running around with guns."
Okay,
yeah, that's what happens.
Here's another one. Don't. This is the title. We're gonna get. This is the title, and then I'll give what the person write. But the title. Don't waste your money, your time, and energy on this. Buy Metal Gear Solid for $5 instead. That's the title.
Well, I mean that's a double damn because that tells you why Konami's losing money on that game, and also I mean those games have nothing. They're not even. It's not even a good swap.
Well, let's go. So that was the body. Here's the body of it now. Wish I hadn't purchased this game. Too open of a map, not clear direction. Graphics could be better. It is trying too hard to be Zelda in a GTA style, minus the guns and hookers. This doesn't even compare to the 64 classic Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, where I go playing for hours.
I actually do wish they had hookers in Hyrule. That would be really interesting. I mean, in Sky in Hyrule, that'd be really interesting, actually.
Well, they kind of had it. They kind of had it nonchalantly in Zelda too.
Yeah, with the old lady and the young
young lady too.
Yeah, the young lady who would give you who would heal you, and the old lady who would give you wisdom, because we all know the older ladies give you experience. Yeah, that was that. I mean, like, okay, look, that is actually more of a valid. I mean, that's a very subjective, but I can see where the guy is coming from. It really doesn't give you much direction on what to do. This literally, I call this the playground Zelda game. It's like, here's your tools, do something.
Have at it.
And that might not be for everybody. I can totally appreciate that.
Like I said, we're just joking. I'm not. These are these people's stuff. I mean,
the only dude who I'm going to say he's full of shit is the dude who's like, what the dude say? It's got certain stuff going on. I'm like, have you never played a Legend of Zelda game?
Oh well, let's continue this trend then. Next person, very open world, little story and voice acting. Everybody has monologues with Link, just standing there. Link does not speak. When he does that, when he does message, he expresses with grunts and grunts sound while playing. He's been playing
that for years.
Yeah.
I wonder when they change that. That's like someone playing a Samus game. She doesn't say anything. She's not supposed to say anything.
Wait, Red. I remember who complained about that. It was Mother freaking Angry Joe.
Yeah, Angry Joe can go. Angry Joe is an idiot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I bet that was his first Zelda game.
No, that wasn't his first Zelda game. Angry Joe is just not very good.
I have one here real quick.
Okay.
I looked up ARMS. The game new IP. This is a 1-star review, and trust me, it ain't gonna take long. It says 1 star. Switch sucks.
Okay, that's not even a review of the game. That's a review of the system the game is on. And I could easily, I could do that too.
But no, that's all it says. Switch sucks, and this is on July 18th. So a month after the game launched. And all you can say is Switch sucks. It's not about the system; it's about the game, right?
But that's not about the game. That's about.
Well, and that's how they always do it. And here's one from Amazon, which is weird.
This is Amazon too, just so you know. It was Amazon.
Yeah, people say stupid. People said this. They had a video about this. No had a video about this and how people's like the same thing happened with Metacritic, where people go there just to do that, which is weird. I don't get that. You all have no lives. So like this one person, like this game's a scam. The only reason I give it a 1 star because I couldn't give it a 0. Really?
That's me.
You don't have no time. You have no life.
Oh my gosh. That is definitely not a funky review. Come on, man.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Like, why would you even if you don't like the game, that's on you. Everyone has
but here's the thing. They're gonna say that's what killed me. Let me add on to this one. Here's another one. Zelda Breath of the Wild is a letdown for me. Complete trash. I bought the Switch and Zelda for nothing. I don't see Nintendo being relevant for the next 5 years. There wasn't relevant for the last 10 years, and because so much of the Switch cost $100 down, it was a drain. So it's best just to buy Horizon.
Fanboy.
What?
Well, I mean, that's his opinion, but I'm just gonna keep it real. I played Horizon, and Horizon is hard to play. Not because it's a hard game, but because after Breath of the Wild, it's hard to play a lot of open world games.
We could go with that, but I'm just laughing how again, if there's a game, even as bad as I hated Shadow the Hedgehog, I don't go to this and do this stuff. Why do people have this type of in their life? My goodness, man.
Because they have no life. I mean,
I know.
I mean, there are games that I absolutely hate. I hated playing. Shadow the Hedgehog, but just because I hated Shadow the Hedgehog doesn't necessarily mean that.
I ain't going to no damn site to say like I'm like that's just ridiculous. If the game's broken, I would say hey the game's broken. But I'm not gonna go on this like because a lot of people too. It's like they gotta. You say something too. They gotta like okay. Even though if I'm gonna Xbox, it's like this game sucks. Why buy X? Like you're talking about a game, so why you gotta include a system in it? Just talk about the game and just say what it is and then be what it is.
So you don't like
because
it.
it's not about the game.
Like it.
No, it's not about the game. I know that. That's my point. I know that's the part of Kimmy. So here's one here. That
like, I don't like ARMS, but I'm not like making all types of.
You know, I should go play some ARMS right now.
Yeah, I don't like ARMS, but I'm not making negative reviews of why I don't like ARMS. That's a waste of time.
Yeah. Well, let me again. Let's go back to a previous. Let me go.
Ah, damn.
Let's go back to a previous topic because it's funny to me, and I know again this holy lab is I will try to go quick as I can because it's a little lengthy, but if you got time like this, holy crap! All right, so this got a one review as well too. All right, okay. Title of it is "Not Safe for Kids, Evil, rating should be teen."
What game is it?
Still talking about Breath of the Wild. Talking about Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
So,
did they tell you why it's evil and should be rated T for teen or whatever?
Damn, boy, you're good.
Why?
That's all of it, and he doesn't give.
No. That's the title. I didn't. Amazon, you can list the title. You can list the title and then you talk about it. Let me get to this. I know you're gonna start laughing. Let me just get to. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's too stupid. So I'm gonna get you. Wait. So let me get what it says. Okay.
Got your ass. Ah, fuck.
It is said that this game. Here you go. It is said that this game is evil now. This game has been spiritualistically undertones. For example, demon ruler, God that you pray to, spirit's resurrection. I can't believe Nintendo ruined this fantasy series by taking it down this path. None of the prior games were like this at all. The thing.
You know what?
Let me just finish. The thing is, none of this was needed to make a great game. The game would have been great and had stuck to Zelda tradition without the Triforce and the Ganon. So Ganon is a demon, and the king, Zelda's father, is a spirit. Link died in the battle a long time ago and was resurrected. You gain a spirit orb from evil-looking statues. You have to pray to gain hearts. I am sure that there's more content out there to reveal, but reveal shortly after the game initially processed and gaining the paraglider. I am saddened that Nintendo ruined such a great series with all the unneeded spiritualistic themes, content content to what's supposed to be a great game and safe for kids. I expect the sword fight and the fantasy of monsters and enemies, but what me and my kids saw was inappropriate for kids. Everybody should see this game as
man. Come on, man. You know it's the damn kid right that review.
This is a troll, right?
It goes longer than that, so I don't think it's really. I really do because yes.
That's a kid right that review, man. The dad didn't write that.
I would not. Nope. Okay. Only Triple M would know this here. Triple M know I shared an article with him, and he knows how things work out.
Yeah, but even if that's the parent, the parent is still the damn kid.
Well, there you go.
I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, if this is an adult who said this, they are an idiot. Or they've never played a Legend of Zelda game because he's like, it has a Demon King. It should have stuck to the Triforce. Well, technically speaking, the very first Legend of Zelda had the Triforce, but not as we know it. It was just like you had to collect pieces of the Triforce, but the whole the three golden triangles, they didn't have that back in the day. And then they added that in Link to the Past.
Where's the thing though?
Well, not really Link to the Past. They added the concept of,
Here's the thing though. In the open of Ocarina of Time, you have the three gods: Nero, Pharaoh. Then talking about spiritual stuff, and you're praying. You had it from there.
Yeah, I'm like, this dude has not played a Legend of Zelda game, because only someone who hasn't played a Legend of Zelda game would say some stupid shit like that.
That's what it is.
Oh, someone just posted, said that, was that a Polygon review?
No. If it was a Polygon review, it would say I couldn't even get past the first level.
You know what? It can't, like I said, for this whole thing, it kind of does sound like a Polygon review, because you talk about the game is not polished. I get frustrated. It gets better. You get tired. You have to climb mountains. You couldn't. I'm like, really? Okay. It's the same review now.
God damn.
So it's just ridiculous with what you see people write. It is. It is really weird how people have the time to do certain things like this. And
man, come on, man, you guys stupid, man.
So it is just wow. That is just weird to me.
Come on. Oh shit.
All right, man. Escape.
Damn. I thought I was on mute. No, I thought I was on mute.
You sounded like Sprite now, man.
No, I thought I was on mute. My bad. Let me mute it. Damn.
Okay, hey guys. Now this is not as bad as what you've been reading, but check this out.
Oh no, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
I took a different approach here. I looked up the Pro controller on Amazon, right?
All right.
Are you kidding me?
Believe it or not, it does have 1-star reviews. And here's one right here. Listen to this. Hold on, listen to this. The D-pad is the worst that Nintendo has ever made.
Okay.
It's possible to press all directions at once. The pads have all had a pivot in the center that made it so you can press only one direction at a time. Not the case with this one. Renders many games unplayable.
I have my Pro controller with me right now. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm playing on one right now. As I'm playing Splatoon, so
wow, I don't know what these look like.
You can press them all down at one time, but
in the center,
in the center, but there still is like some emphasis given to the other direction. So
it has a tilt. Yeah, I'm right now. Yes.
Yeah, I think this dude's just trolling. I think this is a troll.
And the thing, but it goes to the point. Like half of these people, I think half of the people are serious and half of the people are trolls. The thing I'm saying is, you guys ain't got no life. How sad is your life to do that? That's my premise in that. I'm gonna take out my time to write. And this guy wrote the one I just read that had that whole demon thing, had a long review in it. Like I said, he got into it. So that's why I say I don't think it's a troll account. That's too long. He knows he watch a lot of Let's Plays, or he played the game and he just thinking, I don't care, whatever. That's too long to be. That's too detailed to be too fakish. But my point is still though is like, again, I can't do that. I don't have that time to do that in my life. I just don't.
Hold on.
I think that's a troll. I think that's a troll. I think those are trolls. I really do. I really do think.
The reason I said that because, like I said, some are trolls. No, I've seen people. When people ask me, like, when I'm out, I mean, you have seen this too. Like, if people ask me questions outside in real life, they ask me certain questions that are general public. I'm talking about. They ask questions that makes you think that if I tell it to you guys, you be laughing like, oh no, but they legitimately asking these questions. And you gotta remember, Amazon and all these like Best Buy and stuff. Yeah, we can talk about gamers, but again, it's open to general public as well. So it has happened. So I don't say I could get half his trolls and half his. I can even get 75% his trolls if you want to go to that point. But there are legitimate people who put this stuff out there. And the trolls, I'm saying you ain't got the time that you all do that is crazy. That's what I'm talking about. It's like wow.
People have way too much free time on their hands.
Exactly. That's my point of saying that's what me and Dr. Fielder was cracking jokes.
But you know what? I have time, but I'm sure not going to write something like this, like a buffoon. Something.
What, guys? Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change it up again here. So I want to see if I can find some kiss ass reviews, right? So I went to the Order 1886.
Oh my!
That
And
game is just so perfect.
hey, and this was January 12th, 2016. This person said 5 stars. A criminally underrated and underappreciated masterpiece.
And you could, and we could go. Well, you know what? I'll do the same for Breath of the Wild. I'll say to the Breath of the Wild. No, it is that. Like I said, that's why I say you got to look at many reviews in that regard and see.
Now they wrote a couple paragraphs, so listen to the second paragraph. However, when I saw that the order was $10, I had to get it. The game was
okay, that's
well. You know what? I give it to him because you know what? $10, shit.
I mean, but dude, hold on. But they're acting as though that this game was worth full price when they bought it.
No,
But
look, listen.
The game is underrated to you because you only paid literally one.
Exactly. That's why I'm giving it to him because it was $10. I mean, hell, let me put it this way: if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, man, they're selling Mario Kart Deluxe for $10," I'd be like, "Oh shit, I think it was great too. I paid $10 for the battle mode."
Wait a minute. So they trolled the review?
Hold on. Here's the next one.
Yeah, he trolled the review then.
Most underrated game this year.
What game is that?
The Order 18.
And listen to the review. Listen to the review. Easily one of the most underrated games I've ever played. Got it for $20 and I couldn't put it down. I'm pretty sure after $5 you put it down.
Hey, they trolled the review.
It's a 5-hour game. I mean, yeah, you can beat anything in 5 hours. Hell, I can stand on my head for 5 hours. Shit, if I had to.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I could actually stand on my head.
Hold on. Here's somebody else. 5 stars. They did this year, a few months back. They said, great game. Graphics are superb, and I personally love the length. I honestly don't have time like I used to for a 30+ hour game.
Well, I mean, well, first of all, the Order 1886 is a.
No, I'll give it past 10 to 12. That's not a 30+ hour game unless you really.
No, he says I honestly don't have enough time like for a 30+. He's talking about I like the length because it's not long like other games are. It's like, but not all games are 30 hours.
My mistake. I retract what I just said. Then my mistake. LBC moment on me. Okay,
that's a good excuse.
I just, sometimes you just want to play a game and it have a certain length to it. Fuck that. I want to play.
Check this out. Here's one that said, if you like the Uncharted series and you like Telltale games, you will like the Order 1886.
No.
And then another one, great game that doesn't require 50+ hours to beat.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, you beat it in 5. Yeah, it's a 5-hour game.
Oh, man. Oh, this one says masterpiece. Love it.
It's
a 5-hour game. Jesus.
I'm gonna look at. You know what? I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna look up some Bayonetta 2 bad reviews.
Oh, I can look that up easy because I got
Bayonetta 2 Wii U. Dang, that shit's going for $85 for the double pack. My God.
Yeah, because once it comes rare, what do you expect?
Oh, so 1%.
Yeah, I'm there too. So we can pick up something quick for you, like you said. Reviews. Where is it? Okay, there you go. And 1%.
Well, actually, the 1% reviews are because yes, Amazon gave them the wrong one. They gave them the Bayonetta 2 only pack when they ordered they paid $90 for
That's
the
what I said. So, yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Yeah, so that yeah. Let me see what the 2 star says. Let me see.
I'm just saying.
Well, there you go. I mean, I see some of this. I can say that some of this is subjective, and I can't argue that. Because one person like didn't like this game, couldn't get into the story. That's what I said. I can't argue that really.
Here's what I'll say. When Broham said all that stuff about Breath of the Wild, and look, I'm the first person to tell you Breath of the Wild is not my favorite Legend of Zelda game, and I don't like, like if I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a B. But I'm like some of this stuff this dude said is like it's got evil spirits, it's got an evil king. Why can't it go back to
okay? This is a troll. This was a troll. This is a troll. This is a troll.
Let me do this real quick. This is very short and very sexist. They say this is 3 stars. Kind of boring. Violent woman rather than violent man.
What? Is that Bayonetta?
Yeah, Bayonetta 2. They say kind of boring. Violent woman rather than violent man.
Wow. So I mean, this guy has repressed sexuality because he'd rather see Kratos or Dante than a hot lady with a really small head and skin tight clothes.
Well, here's one with it. It's basically saying
that's weird. He needs to go see his therapist.
Also, they're saying this game can't compare. What is it? The greatest action game ever? Really? Nah, sorry. This game can't compare to Devil May Cry 2. I'm like, yeah, sure. The one that Hideki don't like the most, you and the person who created the thing, no. Okay, all right.
I mean, that's still subjective.
That is subjective. I know. I know. That's
Bayonetta is not everyone's cup of tea. I can understand that, but
I get that too. I'm looking at people like that. Like it's just subjective. I'm like,
yeah, you'd rather see a dude beating up people than a hot chick. I don't.
But still, in a way, here's the thing though. You picked a broken game over a game that worked.
If he prefers sausage party, that's his preference.
Well, that's a funny movie, though. That is a funny movie.
No, that's a horrible movie.
It's funny as hell. Well, actually, I take that back. It's got tremendous shock.
Oh my God. Lord have mercy.
Oh, Malik JC in a comment, you wrong, dude. He said I can take a nap longer than the 1886. Oh, dang, boy,
dang!
I should kick you out for that one, dude.
That's true though. I have taken naps, and I'm like, I'm just gonna take a nap, for like 30 minutes, and I wake up the next day. I've taken naps that are longer than the order 1886. That is true. That's not a troll. That's a fact.
Oh man, he trolling. Malik, you're a dick, man. I'm just gonna say it. You know you are. You were saying that. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! But that Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it's got an evil king. All of them have had.
That's why I said it's a long review one. I'm trying to say, like I say, I don't think it's a troll. It's a long review. Also, he goes into detail and certain things like you play the game, which I can't deny that if he says verify purchase, because sometimes he tells you if you verify purchase or not. And my thing is like, did you not play the last game because Demise was the demon, Gearham was the demon lord? But okay. You really play all those Zelda games? But I still like the first one. Don't like the game Monsters Everywhere.
But that's every Legend of Zelda game. Is that
I know that was funny as hell. I laughed at that one. When I saw it, I was like, you gotta be kidding. Really?
Like, I don't like the game. There are monsters everywhere. But that's every Legend of Zelda game.
It's like I don't like Mario Kart because it's racing.
Yeah. But
I don't like Call of Duty. Too many guns.
That's like someone saying, "Hey man, I can't play that Harvest Moon. Too much farming." That's what you do. That's the whole point.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, I gotta say that's a bad, that's bad, Malik, to say that.
Give me some valid reasons. Like maybe I don't know. I don't know. I can't even think of any real valid reason someone would be up there. I don't like this. Okay, fair enough. Oh well.
Well, like I say, like I said, it's just a little something we put together with Doc. We were just chatting off. We were basically chatting off air, and just saw that we just well, me and him were just laughing, saying, hey, "Why not just listen to a podcast and a little piece of the podcast at the end? Because that would be pretty cool to do." And I have to say, like again, shout outs to you, Doc, in your video. You talk about the whole in a video because again, this is the thing that killed me. Yes, again, and I'm gonna follow up. I'm gonna do add on to Doc's video about the Switch, and because I want to do about it and add my
Hey,
thing.
Lego.
Yeah.
Lego, before you go any further, I just want to say one thing. Doc, Doc made those videos, man. He about to get a bunch of thumbs down. Make too much damn sense, man. Anytime you make sense, you get a bunch of thumbs down.
Hey, don't yeah. I get a bunch of those from people from certain people.
Oh man, I saw one of your own, man. You had like 20 something thumbs down to like,
I know,
That's,
right?
like
that's
6.
how you know you're saying something useful when you say something, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this, like I add on to what Doc said, but again, here's the thing, and I'll be honest to most of the people who are listening like this. The Switch has problems, yes, and I'm gonna do my video about that, adding on to what Doc had in his video, talking about how it was, whatever. But the thing that killed me about this, and everybody here stated this thing, so I'm just basically I'm a broken record to a point, but it still proves a certain point. If I'm that. It's sad nowadays. No, it was. I was talking to somebody. I was talking to somebody else that I'm talking about the job market. We're talking about the job market, and it's sad how the internet has made the internet has taken away a lot of how should I say this? Dang it, personal reaction, like personal face-to-face time, a lot of stuff, which is hurting society in my opinion. That we don't have that. We don't have that. Front to face because we get more people got internet drunkenness like so liquid courage. You have internet courage. That's one, but then two, you have a lot of people who just have this awkwardness. So if I'm gonna play games with people, wait, okay, I'm basically wrapping up. So I could go. Y'all could talk after this. If I gotta play games with people that I'm gonna enjoy with and have fun with or whatever. Here's the thing. I have if it's that important to me because the whole voice chat crap, like whatever. I mean, if I want to, hey, if I'm trying to make the best we can say, okay. You need the message system on the Wii U. Not the Wii on the Switch. I've talked about it. Like you don't get the direct answer you need and everything else like that. Like if I want to play a game with SK Massive. We have each other's number. If I want to play a game with Doc, we have each other's number. If I want to play with Triple M, we got it. Shepherd. Like the phone, the thing that you carry around the most, and I don't myself, but the thing you carry out the most is there. And it's a problem, yes, but it's funny how the ingenuity of, look, there's a problem, let's go beyond that, has also been messed up because of internet. People just look at that one. They come to a wall, even though they come to a wall, even though they got a sledgehammer, even though they got a drill, they just look at a wall and they just give up. They don't go through no more. They just
They just give up.
They do. They just do, and that they do. You have a power drill, you have a jackhammer, you have a sledgehammer. You just walk up and you're like, oh, it's a wall. No, and just walk away.
That's actually a very, very good analogy. I have to agree with you on there because these gamers today, they act as though when they want to bitch about something, uses about Nintendo, they act as though they have not been using other means to do this thing they're requesting or critiquing all the years prior up to this point. Like for example, with the voice chat thing, like you want to say, you mean to tell me that since the 7th gen up to now, you haven't been using Skype, Discord, Google Hangouts,
Or your phone.
FaceTime, or your phone, or text message. You haven't been doing any of these things to ever either set up a gaming session or talk to your friends either outside of gaming or while you're gaming. But somehow, some way, right now, I want to talk to my friends while I'm gaming. It has to be done on the Switch. This is stupid.
Well,
So you mean to tell me it makes no sense?
let me add something quick before, a real life thing too. Like, okay, so you know what? Like, if people ask, "Oh, would you do that?" I'm gonna give me a PlayStation 4 later this year. I'm not gonna. I don't care. I'm gonna still use what I've been using before that. I'm not gonna go for the on.
You getting a Pro?
You're blasting mine. Ain't no damn Pro. But here's the thing, though. When I came back from my country out of Europe,
You get the Xbox One X.
majority, man, you know, funny. But here's the thing, though. Majority of your phones now has something called conference call. And when I came back, I had SK Massive, I had Shepard, I had Dr. Feelgood, and all of us was talking on the phone. I mean, the technology is there where you get better signal, better everything. I don't get that part. Like, okay, y'all, you know, is a problem. The things that you need to argue about, like no broken games, or at least, I mean, you know, games that don't broken, or you gotta pass like to the hell. No, we don't talk about that much, but we talk about the little cosmetic shit to the side. It's weird to me. And with that said, I bid you guys a good night. I gotta go. Too much damn phone calls coming in.
All right, man. Thank you for coming. Catch you later.
All right, man.
And we'll be wrapping up soon anyway. But yeah, I mean, and as what you said earlier, SK, I've already I'd say out of the last 4 or 5 videos I've done over the last week, one of them in particular got just as many downvotes as upvotes, and it was one about the voice chat. And I didn't care. I mean, I'm not in this for popularity. I got 247 subscribers, and I may even lose 5 or 10 before this thing is over with. To be honest, I don't care. I don't get paid, and I'm not monetizing any content. But I do what I do because I'm trying to somewhat enlighten people. You don't have to take my advice, but I'm going to give you good advice. You don't want it, that's perfectly fine. But once you find out that I was right months or years later, it's up to you. Today, they're lazy, they're incompetent, and I'm not sorry for saying that, but it is the truth. Like, I just made a video earlier today, and the video's main topic was I've been hearing people for the last decade or more saying Nintendo needs third party. And I've argued that they don't. They've proven that they don't. And I asked a very important question. I'm going to ask you guys right now in case you haven't seen it. To those that believe they need third party, and which I still believe they don't, I said, okay, here's a question. Take away all the third party multi-plat games from every console, Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox. Take away all the third-party multiplats, and where it's only exclusive first-party content. Who has a bigger library?
Nintendo.
It's not even close.
Yeah. I mean, so, you don't even have to. You don't even have to.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you don't even have to say who has the bigger library. Who would actually turn a profit on their damn console and be viable?
Yeah, but see, I mentioned that too. I mentioned that, well, first of all, they sell the consoles at a profit margin, and the only exception to that was the Wii U. But even with the Wii U, Nintendo said at launch it was profitable when it sold with one game, and who's going to buy a console without buying the game? So essentially, the Wii was profitable at launch, and it was profitable so standalone a few months after launch. But I went on to say, okay, I want to be fair across all sides. I mentioned that, okay, let's pull up the PlayStation franchises that are exclusive. Would it be second party or first party? I mentioned God of War. I mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn, Killzone, all those games. Those games alone would not carry the PlayStation brand.
No.
They can't support the PlayStation brand.
They don't sell that well. Except for Uncharted, but I mean that was with the re-releases and bundles. So,
but even with that alone, it can't support the whole platform.
No, it cannot.
But Nintendo supported the Wii U with virtually no third-party support for 4.5 years.
And it looks like, and I hate to say this, it looks like they're going to do the same with the Switch.
But I mentioned this, and even on Microsoft side, I said, okay, for Xbox, you got Halo,
Forza.
You have Forza, You have
Minecraft.
yeah, I mentioned all the popular, exclusive titles. I even said, hey, Sunset Overdrive, which it is exclusive.
Yeah, but that game bombed.
And I even gave PS4 the benefit of the doubt. I said, I'm going to give you guys a curve. I will let you have Street Fighter Five. Technically, it's a multi-plat. It's on PC, but for those that
But
care
it's
for
a
the term
console
console exclusive,
Yeah. We'll
I
go
give
with
it
that
to you.
bullshit statement. No, none of
But even
they'd all be
still,
underwater. They'd be like the TurboGrafx 16 back in the day when they were like, "Who's our mascot? We got Alex Ryder, Alex Knight, Alex Knight. That was Alex Knight. We got Alex Knight, and
and Bonk.
and Bonk, and who the fuck is Bonk? Now, I mean, I know who Bonk is, but we know who Bonk is. But Joe Blow, average gamer, was like, who the hell is Bonk? Like, if you had SNES, we got Mario, we got Link, we got Donkey Kong. If you had Sega, you had Sonic the Hedgehog, you had Sparkster, the Rocket Knight, you had Vector Man, you had Alex. Well, no one cares about Alex Kidd, not even Sega.
But as I was saying though, I wasn't leaning towards either side. I actually, gave and mentioned the best franchises. Did I mention every single exclusive these consoles have? No, I have a life. But I made sure to mention the most popular and or best selling ones because what kind of unknown game is going to push units? None. I mean, let's be real. The the Order 886, as popular as it was, did it actually move a whole bunch of PlayStation 4s? Not really. It didn't sell
No.
that well. Even Sunset Overdrive, that game was hyped to shit. It I think it barely crossed a million after 3 or 4 years on the market. So it's kind of like
Barely.
I,
Barely.
I made to mention games that are popular and sell well. Now, be exclusives. Destiny's not a PS4 exclusive. It's actually a multi-plat, people. You may not like it, but it is. Call of Duty is a multi-plat. Grand Theft Auto, these highest selling franchises are multi-plats. If you had to buy a console and could only play its first party content, that means whatever Sony makes or even the companies that they own make. Who has a better library? Who would satisfy you more? So if there was no 2K, if there was no WWE 2K, there was no NBA 2K, if there was no
No Call of
Madden,
Duty, no
no Call of Duty,
Battlefield.
who had yeah, each console has a shooter. Nintendo has Splatoon, and then PlayStation has Killzone, and of course
I can't believe you tried to say that with a straight face. You held it until the very end.
and then Microsoft has Halo, of course. I think out of that, Halo will probably be the winner. And let's go over to let's say a platformer. PlayStation has Little Big Planet.
Oh no, they have Knack. They have Knack.
I was
Okay?
just about to say that.
They're making a sequel to that. Okay.
Okay,
folks?
they have Knack. Nintendo will have a plethora of platformers.
Well, I mean, they have Mario. They have. Let's keep it real. Right now, coming out this year is Mario Odyssey,
I mean,
and
and then Microsoft, I don't
has
know.
nothing. They have no platformers. I mean, there was Young Conquer, but no one wanted that game.
Hey, I'll be
Okay,
right there.
now
Do not.
let's look at action games, action adventure games. Nintendo has Zelda and Breath of the Wild.
That is true.
Okay, Microsoft would have what exclusive?
They have that game made by Keiji Inafune and the people who used to work at
I don't know what it is. So we'll move on.
Wasn't that something? It was something core.
yeah, Recore.
Recore,
Yeah,
okay.
Recore. See, they
Okay,
got
Recore.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Recore is also like a platformer, so it can fit in that category too.
It's more action adventure than a straight up platformer. That's
True.
why I'm giving it as more of an action adventure game.
And then PlayStation, you can I guess you could say Bloodborne.
Yeah, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, but that's not an exclusive. Bloodborne,
But yeah, that's
Horizon Zero Dawn,
and of course you could say Uncharted.
Uncharted. Isn't Uncharted more of like a third-person shooter with action sequences?
It's considered an action adventure game. It may have shooting elements, but I'll give it to them. So they have a good game in that category.
So Microsoft has some good action games too. They have that Tomb Raider that was exclusive to them.
What the hell?
And Sunset Overdrive. That's an
True.
exclusive. That's an action game. That's fun.
That's true. Now, okay, let's look at racing games. We know Nintendo has Mario Kart, and we
Yep.
know Microsoft has Forza. PlayStation
Hmm.
has Gran Turismo, which is fell behind, but it's still a great franchise overall. All right. Now, sports games. Now, do any of them really have any exclusive sports games? I think Sony has
Sony
the
has the
PES,
baseball game. Yeah, they have the baseball game. That's their exclusive.
and they have the soccer game. Was it Pro Evolution Soccer?
Yeah, but that's also on PC. So
Oh, then it don't count.
No,
yep.
So,
let's give them that. Since
No, no.
so, but
It's
Nintendo
something
actually
to it.
does have Mario Tennis.
Yeah, they have Mario Tennis. They have. I wish they'd do a Mario football, not soccer. Mario football, like American football. That'd be awesome.
have Chuck in there.
Yeah, have Charge and Chuck as linebackers since they already are linebackers. Get them, Chuck.
I'm still waiting for my Mario Golf.
There, yeah, and please make a Mario Golf like the Mario Golf handheld games that were RPGs back in the day from Camelot, like full-on RPGs with golf in them. Oh well.
But at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to make any console look bad. I was being objective, and I own all three consoles. I own the Switch, I own the PS4 Slim, and the Xbox One S. I have plenty of games for all of them, and I said, okay, well, let's look at this. When I look at my library for the Xbox One, I have more than a few exclusives, but I have to admit, half those games are actually multiplats. I just chose the Xbox One version. Same thing with the PS4. Most of the games on there are multiplats.
You know
But when I
what?
look at my Wii U and my Switch, like even my Switch right now, my physical games are all exclusives.
Yep.
You know what?
Well, except for
I,
the ports.
yeah, I would like to see Blinks coming back. Oh, come
Blink's
on,
ain't
man.
Blink's the
Look,
time is not coming back.
they're never bringing. You want to know why Blinks died? Because people spammed social media and said that Blinks is one of the worst mascots ever, and Microsoft got scared because they have no balls. They're ballless, and
And he
they
was
canceled the
Blink.
game.
I actually have both games, and actually he was a good. He would have been a good mascot. He was a
Yeah,
cool
I mean,
character.
he wasn't gonna be Mario caliber, but I mean, Nintendo has spent 30 fucking plus years building Mario, and you can't just be some little fucking milksop and be like, oh, we're gonna go after the throne. Crash tried that.
And
Crash has
then
not had a game for years.
Microsoft chose a faceless mascot. And I can understand why, because Halo was their biggest selling game. The shit took
Yeah,
off, but at the same
but Master
time,
Chief has no personality. I mean,
and
like, here's the
exactly,
thing: even Duke Nukem has a personality. I mean, whether you like him or not,
Fig-
you know,
Cigarettes and
Fig-Fig,
Jack
baby.
Daniels.
But I mean, like Duke Nukem has a personality. Even the Doom guy sort of has a personality. Uh, 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 the guy from the main character from Wolfenstein
Come on, Metal Man.
kind of has a personality. But Master Chief, like if I told you to tell me a overriding personality feature of Master Chief, you couldn't tell me because he has no personality.
I mean, but my whole point of the video is, look, I wasn't trying to troll anybody, but you guys keep saying, you have been saying for over a decade, Nintendo needs third party. They've been proving you wrong for 30 years, and they're
Yep.
still doing it. And then, of course, I'm not going to mention any names, but someone replied to the video and was like, well, if Nintendo never had third party games, then you might have a point. I'm like, what business has never had to utilize any third party stuff? Even Apple, who's very, very internal, guess where they get their chips from for their phones? Samsung.
Well, not only that, but let's put it on a more personal level. There is no grocery store on the planet that only sells their in-store brands. They also have
Exactly.
third-party brands that belong to other people's shit. Like it would be weird if you went to a grocery store and they had no Coke, no Pepsi, and only their generic brand. Like you went to a Walmart,
Nebraska Cola,
yeah,
Wisconsin Sprite.
or Dr. Peppy. You know, it's
Oh,
like
not
how they
Dr.
go to
Peppy.
Dr. Peppy
But I
and
mean, as I
Spunk.
said, I wasn't trying to point any fingers and be like, "You suck." I didn't even say that. I just simply said,
Well, I'll
if
say
your
it.
argument
You
is
suck.
about if your argument is about that they need third parties, okay, let me confront that argument. Let's get rid of all the third party content and see who has the most games, who has the best library overall. I know best is subjective, but let's just look at who will have the most games. And then, of course, I know there's indies out there and stuff like that. But that's why I said take away all third party multiplats. Who would, if we only went by what Nintendo made, what Sony made, and what Microsoft made for their consoles, strictly their consoles, who has the best library? And I can tell you, every generation with Nintendo, we get a Mario game, we get a Zelda game, we may even get a Donkey Kong and a few other franchises. If you look at all the games we get, Pikmin and things like that, Nintendo has a lot more IPs going for them and a lot more games. You take away all the content. And
Yep.
then I even said in my video, I covered this point too. I said, for those of you that's going to say, well, okay, let's take away all the first party content as the best library. What company would choose not to support themselves, except Sony? Let's take Sony out of this
Yep.
with the Vita.
And now
What company?
Microsoft. Yeah.
What company would choose not to support themselves if they had a good product? So that's actually a dumbass question. And even still, like that makes no sense. What company that's actually making good money out their own product will say, you know what? Even though this is so profitable and it's making money, let's kill this off. No one's going to do that.
Sony with the Vita, yeah, Sony with the Vita. Like basically, I think at the end of the day, we all just have to look at this and say there's some dumbass people running around here. And you know, the thing when you're dealing with stupid people, you just gotta let them be stupid because if you try and give them truth, they can't handle it.
And this is not me making a video to say that I don't want third party. I have never stated I don't like or play or want third party games for Nintendo console. I would love to have all third party games available out there. I'm not gonna lie. I would love to have all of them if they work. But I would like to
Yeah.
have all third party content that we get on the Xbox One and or PS4. Hell, even PC. But you keep saying they need third party content. You know who needs third party content to survive?
Sony,
The
Microsoft.
PC. The PC
Well,
really does need third party content.
the PC is a different market because
True.
the
I mean, but I'm
PC.
saying, but this technically, in a way, almost everything the PC has is third party. Now, Sony and Microsoft, Sony used to make more of their
Well,
own games than they do now, and so did
that,
Microsoft.
you can't use the PC as an example for that because the PC is just like because there's certain genres that just don't do well, like strategy. Yeah, Nintendo has Pikmin, but really, if you want to play like a core strategy game, you got to play that on PC. There's certain
True.
genres that like there's nothing on a console that like can only be done on that console, except for some of Nintendo's games because of the way they're the way they make their stuff. But generally speaking, that's not the way it goes.
True. But like
was
what you
RTS.
said is correct.
I
Microsoft
would
and
say
Sony, they thrive. They literally are depending on third parties. And another question I would ask is, okay, so let's say that that's a good thing. You think that's a good thing to have a whole bunch of third party content. What if out of nowhere, just like they did with Nintendo, all these third parties say, you know what? It's not working out. We don't want to work with you anymore. Do you know that Sony and Microsoft would lose roughly about 80% of their whole library? If
They
all
would
third
be
parties
they would
said
be
F
effed.
you,
Yeah.
they'd be out of business immediately because they closed most of their game studios or basically just they pull them in and absorb them, but they're not using them for shit, aka rare. But if you think about it, they will lose the bulk of their library. You will lose all these games that are popular. They get annual iterations, but that's it. You will lose all those games. The games you are clamoring for are on everything else but Nintendo. And it has been that way for the last 2, 3 gens. Ninth, eighth, and even seventh. I mean, it's been that way.
Yep.
So the games you want are available everywhere else but Nintendo. And let's be honest, most of you guys saying this shit, you bought a Sony Microsoft console first before you bought a
before
Nintendo console.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that you bought these consoles, most of these consoles, for third-party games that you could get on anything else. Like that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm like, if you're gonna buy a console, if you're gonna spend half a grand on a console, why are you buying it for shit that can be gotten in other places for cheaper?
And
Really, we're gonna go
I
for the
know people
studio.
may say, well, of course, I know Sony has, third-party studios that work directly on them, like Guerrilla Games. I know that, and I roped them into the whole thing of exclusives. But even with their little subsidiary studios, even still, they do not. You can add Sony and Microsoft together with their exclusives. They don't even touch Nintendo. The
Nope.
Wii U was basically supported by almost exclusively exclusives.
Well,
Dang it!
Nintendo.
I was about yeah.
The Wii
To
U
be
was
honest,
supported with Nintendo and Indies.
I was about to say that, but then you could practically say that because people kept overlooking the indies. So if
Yeah,
the indies didn't exist and
Well,
basically
they
third
no
party
people didn't overlook indies because remember when the PS4 first came out and it really didn't have a lot of games and they were like, well, we got indies. Indies only count when they want them to count.
well,
Haven't you noticed that?
yeah, well,
exactly.
that's the thing. If it was Nintendo, indies doesn't exist. So that means by your definition, Nintendo was actually carrying the Wii U all by itself.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned before, Triple M, when these people that make these comments about Nintendo doesn't have third party, what games are they talking about? They're talking about Battlefield, Call of Duty, NBA 2K, WWE 2K, and Madden. Those are the only games they're really talking about. They're not talking about any really big AAA titles outside of those. They're talking about the games they already own on the PS4, if not the PS3.
Yeah,
So they may say they don't have third party. Indies are third parties, especially their multi-plat games. Guacamelee is a third party game.
Yep.
It's on everything. It came to the Nintendo console as well, but that doesn't count as a third party. It doesn't count at all.
yeah. Um,
It also isn't Shantae also a third party game?
Yep.
well, yeah.
And it's on Nintendo consoles, but it's on everything. But that doesn't count as a third party game. So when these people say that, all they're talking about are the big five: Call of Duty, Battlefield, Madden, NBA 2K, WWE 2K, maybe a couple more like FIFA.
Well, I'll take it
But
further than that. I'll abstract it further than that. It's basically when they say they want third party, they want EA, Activision, Ubisoft,
yeah,
2K
essentially,
slash Rockstar. They don't want because they forget third party just means that they don't work for the console manufacturer or have a close relationship with them. Close relationship is second party. Work for
like
that company, they own you. That's first party. Okay,
Yeah.
they, you
You know
know.
what, Malik?
So indies are third party.
Yeah. You know what, Malik? No Man's Sky is an indie game, but after Sony put their hands on them, it's kind of difficult to say if look, they started as an indie game, but after that,
and
Sony
Sony.
Sony helped them get that game published and everything, and they you don't believe the hype. They actually were supposed to handle uh publish to be their publicist too and advertisement for it, but this is Sony, so
And at
uh,
the and also to add to that, Sony cut ties with them. Now, Grim, if you're listening, I know that when we had the last podcast, you're like, well, if they're done making the game, that would be expected. But no, typically when you make a game for someone, for a company, and the game is touted to do well, they kind of already have you, pretty much, they have you roped in to make other games if it does
yeah.
well. But
Look at
Sony actually made
Grezzo.
it public. They're like, yeah, we're not dealing with them anymore whatsoever. They
Didn't
did
they
that
throw them under
game
the
Gum.
bridge
Yeah,
too? They
they
were
did.
like, yeah, they need to get a publicist, but you were supposed like Sony, you were handling the the advertisement duties for this game, so aren't you the publicist? Shut
Yeah,
the
and
fuck
my
up.
point is like, look, you could say that they were a third party company that they made an exclusive for Sony and the work was done, but Sony made sure to publicly cut ties with them. That means that there was probably the thought that they want them to do more. If that game would have sold 5 million, trust me, they'll be talking about No Man's Sky 2 or some DLC or some other game they'd be making, or at least they'll have them make. But once that game bombed, critically and sales wise, Sony said,
Bye,
we don't know
bye.
you.
Yeah.
We don't know you.
They they
We never had a deal. We
they
don't know you.
pulled a they pulled a bye Felicia, bye. Bye, Felicia.
Oh gosh.
Let me borrow your microwave right quick. Bye, Felicia.
and, and before I end it, I'll say once again, if you listen to my recent videos, it's not me trying to throw shade. I'm not trying to tear down any community. I'm just trying to talk sense into the people that have been repeating the same old gibberish and garbage for a decade with little to no research. It's if you really look at things objectively, these people are wrong. They have been wrong. They're just following a crowd. The Switch has games. If you think getting a major first party and or exclusive title one per month since release throughout the rest of the year for the first year is a bad thing, I don't know what's wrong with you. Because like I said, neither Sony or Microsoft are doing that. They're getting
Oh,
games, but they're not exclusives.
Most of them are multi-plats.
Exactly.
snap! We actually forgot about the talk one thing. Sprite just posted that Capcom actually forgot to remove the license by Nintendo screen in the Mega Man Mega Man 7 Legacy Collection. Two.
So it was just a quick and dirty port, which is what they've been doing. Like here's what before we go, here's what people need to realize. None of these companies are what they used to be. Capcom is just putting out quick and dirty ports because they're cheap and they know that they have low overhead. So even if they don't sell tremendously, they're still going to turn a profit.
All right.
And it's sad, but that's the way it is.
Pretty
Well,
much.
we'll go ahead and end it here. I think we've been going long enough.
Yeah.
And I do want to thank everyone in the chat for tuning in and for your comments. Really appreciate it. Definitely want to thank Liger for coming. SK Massive. I saw Shep dipped in and out like a penis, but
Yay!
Uh,
hey, he did jump in and jump out like all in a second. I did see it though, but
Yeah.
I would have said he
Thank you
dipped in and dipped out like he was doing the hokey pokey.
Yeah,
But
hey, thank you for sticking it out, man. I mean, really, really appreciate it.
don't you mean sticking it in?
Hey, I appreciate his stroke of magnificence. Anyway, we'll go ahead and close out.
Yeah.
And if you're still in the chat, contrary, and I get you next time, man. I do apologize. I didn't see it until much later, but I will get you next time. But go ahead, Red Fox and Triple M, give your sign offs.
This is Mr. Red Fox. This Saturday at 6, I have a podcast focusing. It's a new podcast talking about science fiction stuff, comics, movies, video game. Well, not video games, but comics, movies, sci-fi, TV shows, stuff like that. Come join me. I'll have a co-host with me. We'll be talking about Star Trek, but future episodes may be talking about other science fiction type stuff. But we'll have the chat open so you can leave comments.
All right, and Triple M.
All right, this is Triple M, and it looks like we've definitely poured some wasabi on these beats.
All right, and as always, I'm Dr. Feelgood. Thank you once again, guys, for coming and listening. I really and truly appreciate it. Be sure to check out my latest 4 or 5 videos. You may realize I've been a little bit long-winded as of late. I'm getting back to making it short, like 5-10 minutes, but the last few have been 30, 40, 50 minutes, even like an hour. But be sure to check those out. It's gonna make some people salty, but I don't give a shit. Anyway, peace.
1 star.